Hi again then guys, and so we've got a 600 pp circuit set up for you today on GranTurismo 6 for the ever popular Pagani Zonda R. Pretty hardcore track machine, very popular model as I said, extremely quick as well, not generally used in the lower pp categories though. People tend to just wring all of the power out of it, which is fair enough and understandable. Now I've gone for racing soft tyres. I've opted to increase the rear brake balance to 6 just to keep it to more of a controlled, straight and true stop. You don't have to do that though, and as I've said before, to do with brake balance, you do need to watch for the rear brakes locking up, depending on your ABS setting. As far as the suspension, we've got the ride height on 55, front and rear, springs on 13, 25 and 17, the dampers and anti-roll to 4, camber on 2 with neutral toe. For the body, jumping down, and we'll come back to the gearbox of course, we've got the downforce set to the maximum, the ballast on 29 kilos, and we've put that all the way to the front of the car to bring it a little bit closer to that 50-50 split, and also primarily to allow us a little bit of PP leeway to get a tiny bit of extra power. As far as the power, we've got the standard settings, because obviously this is pretty restricted. We've reduced the power to 74.1%, and that is with an oil change. For the diff, we've got 5, 60 and 20. And finally, for our gearbox, we've got an auto setting of 205, and this is technically a 5-speed gearbox. You can use 6th if you have the low aero, but around most tracks it will just use 5 gears. For the individual gears, we've got 3.4, 2250, 1650, 1250, 1000 and 825 with a final drive of 3.2, and that's it for our 600 pp tune. So now let's take it out to the Nuremberg ring to see what it can do. So the Zonda R is of course famous for being in real life one of the fastest cars ever to get around the Nuremberg ring. And it's no different to that on the game. It's extremely rapid, has so much potential with the right driver. I'm not claiming to be the right driver for this car. I'm not the fastest of drivers on GranTurismo. But in many ways, this car kind of feels similar to the Ferrari FXX. It's a very similar kind of vehicle, kind of runs within its own category. It's like a hardcore evolution model of an existing supercar, again, like the FXX. And also, like the FXX, it does like to get its tail out around corners. This tune, though, primarily having the restricted power, so it's got less to deal with, tightening up the differential a bit, having that maximum downforce, a little bit of extra ballast to ground the tyres, really makes a big difference overall. The handling is superb on this car. The straight line performance is good enough for most tracks at the 600 pp level. It tops around 180, 190 in 5th. As I said, you can use 6th for draft, maybe with low aero, but for most tracks you wouldn't need that. The acceleration is as good as you'd expect it to be. And overall, it makes a very, very good 600 pp track car. On my first attempt around the Nuremberg ring, which is this video you can see here, I got around 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So for a 600 pp car, that is seriously rapid. That's, in fact, almost LMP quick, which for a 600 pp car is very impressive. So for those of you who decide to use this tune, obviously I hope you find it fun, and it is most certainly competitive. And if you're new to the channel and would like to keep up with tunes like this as soon as they're released, be sure to hit subscribe down below. And as always, thanks for watching.